In your career, when you walk into a room, who do you see? How often do you see people that look like you and me? Now, I'm a young black female, and I'm in technology, so quite frankly, it's a rarity for me. But why is that? I was born in New York, the mecca for diversity, but my parents decided to raise their 3 girls in the heart of South Carolina, the Low Country, where there were loads and hundreds of brown brothers and sisters that looked like me. But as I got older, and I went into the fields of study that I really enjoyed, that algebra, that physical science, that really motivated me, I saw less and less of people that looked like me. If it was the teacher that was behind the podium teaching, or the students that were alongside me, so few of them looked like me. By the time I made it to that honors chemistry class, I was the only. But that didn't deter me at all. Even though those teachers that were both white males, they always encouraged me and introduced me to something like engineering. They said, I'm certain that's something you could strive to be. Now my parents, both not college educated, but they always gave me everything that I needed to be successful on that journey. So what did I do? I went to Clemson on a quest to major and get a degree in ceramic engineering. And yes, that is a thing. But I gotta tell you, it wasn't easy. Along the way, I had to get used to being comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. If it was early on, because I had to be the only one reading in Sunday school because no one else sounded like me, or being the only girl in that chemistry class, I had to get used to being comfortable in those uncomfortable situations. But there's so many people before me that got used to doing that. Look at people like Ursula Burns. She was the first black CEO of a Fortune 500 company. She was the CEO at Xerox, a technology company. But if she could get used to being comfortable, being uncomfortable, why couldn't I? But that wasn't the only thing I had to get used to doing. I had to get used to practicing. And normally you say, oh, practice, that's just for athletes. But I'd argue and tell you that practice is for everyone. Because quite frankly, talent's overrated. But skills and practice, that's where the success comes. So you show me someone that's not good in math, I'll show you someone that's not good in free throws. But I bet you they practiced. Kobe Bryant, he practiced. Serena Williams, she practiced. Katherine Johnson, she practiced. What did she practice? She practiced math. And did what? Trailblazed for NASA. And you saw her in Hidden Figures. But that's not the only one who practiced. I'm pretty sure everybody today, they practice. They practice taking the right selfie, getting the right shot. We all have. And even kids these days, they practice video games. They're up till midnight. To what? Be the winner at the end of the day. But they didn't think they were practicing. But why aren't there more women that are in careers in technology? Was it because they didn't want to get comfortable in those uncomfortable situations? Is it because they were scared to practice the skills that we can all do every day? But maybe it was also because they were afraid to fail. Because the road isn't easy. It's hard. It's uncomfortable. You've got to practice, but you may make mistakes as well. I've made my share. I've had to call my parents and say, so I lost that ROTC scholarship that was paying for me to go to Clemson. And I've got to figure out how to pay. Well, I did. Not only did I figure out how to pay, I finished that engineering degree in 4 years. I commissioned as a lieutenant in the United States Air Force, and I came to that first base and left it as the #1 junior officer on the base. Yeah, I made a mistake, but I failed forward. Failing forward is more important now than ever. You have to accept that the road may not be easy. Look at people who have failed before us. Look at the successes that they have made. We wouldn't have had our first black president if he said, hey, I failed at that first election and I'm never going to run again. We wouldn't have had people like Shelley Armbachot who actually said, hey, I started at IBM. It was rough. But then she became the CEO of Blockbuster, and now she's the CEO of a multi-million-dollar software company. You fail forward. You take the good with the bad. But even as we go through that, how do we change and how do we shift culture so that there are more people that look like you and me when you walk into that room? How do we ensure that we're raising young girls that want to go into technology? Well, the first thing we've got to do is we've got to be present. We've got to share our story. We've got to let them know the good and the bad. But we also have to dare them to be innovative and creative. We have to promote that environment that allows them to grow and allows them to know that they could do anything. And we've also got to encourage them to be unapologetically you. We've got to practice. We've got to get comfortable being uncomfortable. And we have to accept and understand that when we fail forward. Now, there are many people in technology that are doing so much these days, be it the CEO for Zoom Pizza. She said, hey, there's a quicker, better, more efficient way to do this. And now, not only did she invent a robot that makes pizza, as an engineer, she now oversees a $2 billion empire. Not just her. You have great ideas that are out there. Check out Plum Perfect one day. I don't know about you, but when I walk in the store, sometimes I can't find the right hue to match my complexion. Wouldn't it be great if there was a mobile app that did that for us? Yeah, she designed that. She's a black female CEO in tech that just had that great idea, and now that great idea, she's launched $1 million company. So I tell you, accept that maybe there are times where we're going to be a little uncomfortable. Get comfortable in those situations. Practice your craft. Practice like you've never practiced before. And get up, brush your shoulder off, keep moving, fail forward. Because I can't wait to have more people join me and the millions of amazing women that are in the ever-changing, growing, innovative, collaborative world and career in technology. Thank you.
Keep going.